Hi, Kayla. Just taking a look at your logo here. Looks pretty good. I can tell you probably made this from scratch, maybe using either paintbrush or pencil tool. So I would say we probably want to kind of look like it's overlapping the B. So if I click and hold, drag down, and then push shift and grab I was using the white arrow tool. Now I'm going to get on the black, push shift and just unclick. Well, that didn't work. Let's try again. I'm just trying to get the banana shape selected. Maybe it's grouped. So grab that, ungroup first, and then let's just try shift clicking, and then I'm just going to do Command C, Command V, just to copy paste it, and then move it over here. So I'd say this banana shape might need a little bit of refinement. I don't know if you're working off of an image of a banana or if you're working from memory. If you're working from memory, that's pretty impressive. But so let's get on the white arrow tool and let's get on the smooth tool. It's under the shaper tool, and we can start smoothing out some of the lines on this banana. You might have to select the shape again and then go back to the smooth tool to make it work. A lot of these lines aren't technically joined together, which is fine, but might just want to kind of smooth out some of these shapes. The smooth tool takes a little bit of getting used to, but it does work nicely for smoothing out some of these shapes. Just a little bit here and there. I can see right here you're actually wanting a little bit of a curve. Sometimes I follow and kind of do what the motions that I want the smooth tool to do. I don't really know if it makes a difference, but I think it does. So I'm kind of doing a curve shape there, and now I'm doing an opposite curved shape. Sometimes you might not get exactly what you're looking for, but this is looking pretty good. Let's see, we've got some overlapping a little bit here, that's fine. We can use the smooth tool on this too, just to kind of try and get it. And we could probably join some of these paths together. Let's see, let's just do this one at a time though. I'm just going to focus on smoothing out this shape a little bit. This one's actually, if we want to move this around, we can use the white arrow tool, push shift and click to open that up. It turns white, the anchor point, and then we can move it around a little bit. Oh, there's actually an extra anchor point in there, so we'll just grab the delete anchor point, which is underneath the pen tool. So if you click and hold down, and we'll delete that extra anchor that we don't need. Shift click to get that to open up. Maybe just move it down there so I can kind of disguise that. This is pretty smooth. That looks pretty smooth. Might have to do the same thing here, just to make this look like one continuous line, which it's still not quite right, but I need to smooth that out. So you'll have to go through your shape and just kind of refine it. There are some issues with these lines not really meeting up very well in this section. You can also change, you can grab the handles out and change the curves too a little bit with the white arrow tool. You can also go to the stroke over here, and there are some options. You can change the cap option. You can make them round. Can't really see it now, but you can make the corners different. You can round them. You can bevel them. Sometimes that might make a difference on some of your shapes. You can also change the profile. So maybe I want my width profile to be different. I can show you what I'm doing here. Command C, Command V. So if I take this and put it on a different width profile, it's not really making too much of a difference here. Maybe this is... Try again here. Okay. Maybe it's because the stroke is so small. But you can try experimenting with different width profiles. Doesn't seem to be doing much to this particular shape for some reason. Not quite sure why. Huh. Yeah, it's not doing anything to that. Maybe it's because it was made with the pencil tool. Not quite sure. Huh. Usually you can, but maybe that's just with the pen tool. This might have been made with the pencil tool. So you have, okay, you have a chunk here. We might want to just push shift on this piece open up that anchor point and then just join it. And we might want to get really close because there's a handle here, and if we just straighten that out, it won't have such like a curve on it. You can see some like strange kind of lines on this. It's just different. I don't know why it would look like that, but it doesn't look as clean as other parts of the shape, I guess. Maybe it's just my machine, I don't know. So that's the end of the banana. We might want to like smooth that out a little bit. I don't know if this is really helping that much, but okay. So just going around and kind of perfecting some of the lines. So we're using the white arrow tool mostly. That shape's pretty clean. This one has maybe a little bit of smoothing that we could do. Okay. And I do notice kind of an issue here with... Oh, okay, so this is separate. Probably could delete this anchor point. Zoom in there and see what's going on. Maybe move it slightly in by pushing Shift. There. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'd almost consider just getting rid of this completely. Oops, not that much. We'll use the delete anchor point now. And maybe just having it look like this. Don't necessarily have to do that, but it might help to simplify the logo. The shape on the end too is kind of, maybe just a round shape would be good. Like pushing, it could be an oval maybe, and we could rotate it. Let's see, here's the rotate tool. Kind of just rotate it that way, maybe size it down. And then move it. Oops, if I can get a hold of it. Keeps on wanting to rotate. Nice time, rotate. Oops, didn't want me to do that. Now I can't grab it. If I zoom in, maybe I'll be able to grab it. Now I can't move it for some reason. Okay, I'm going to use my keyboard, I guess. I'm going to ungroup this. Ungroup. I have to push that quite a few times. I can get this. I have to grab it from the middle. And then let's rotate it again and make it a thicker stroke so it matches what you have, or close to. I don't know if I'm actually liking that better, but I kind of think I do. So we can go through too and push Shift on these shapes and go to Object, Path, Join, and that will make that one shape. When you do that, you have to be careful that it's not goofing anything up, but you can go two paths at a time through your design and just go Object, Path, Join until you get all of them joined. It might not be totally necessary to do that. So if we get to this stage, you might want to try using the shape builder tool to create shapes. So it's over here. If we click, let's see, make sure everything is ungrouped. Okay, shape builder. Okay, let's double click on that. Okay, so if we double click, and if you don't have gap detection turned on, it might not work, so make sure that's checked. And then you can click and start making shapes out of what you're seeing here. And so if I want to grab the white arrow tool, there should be a shape here now, shape here now, shape here now that can now be filled in separately, okay? This might need to be joined with Object Path Join with one of these so that it's not floating by itself. But you could get everything kind of dialed in, and then you can have one solid shape that you can fill in. So we could start, once you make your color version, you can start, adding color to your banana. It doesn't look good, sorry. I guess I should keep a stroke on this. Maybe not that big. There we go. Something like that. I mean, those colors are not necessarily the best, and you might want to consider adding a line in here so that the peel color and the banana itself maybe is a different color, although I could see those being the same color too. And then maybe like filling in this white shape with something, and then also like, let's just delete this old one. I'll group this. This is just a quick version. You can obviously take your time with this a little bit more. I did lose the stroke here, which I'd have to maybe just bring it forward. Also, making the width profile on this different would be interesting, but for some reason I wasn't having much luck earlier. So we might have to use the pen tool to create that line. I'm just going to mimic the shape there, go back to my black arrow, click on that, and then go to different profile, maybe make this a little bit, and I can change the cap to be rounded. So that might be kind of a thing to experiment with, this line in the actual banana. You might not even need the line at all, but consider using different stroke profiles if you can. It doesn't seem to work with the pencil tool. I don't know if that's what you use, but the pen tool it does work with. And so we can actually bring this up here, and having that overlap with B is a good idea, and the U, because it creates depth in the design and makes it more interesting. And then this text, I like it pretty well, but it's also kind of rough. I don't know if you did this yourself or if you used a stencil font. You might want to consider, if you made it yourself, using a stencil font, because it is a little bit rough looking and it just makes it look not as professional as it could. Maybe it's just a matter of going through with the smooth tool, but really what I think is you just need to find a different font. I like the font, but I just don't like the unevenness of the font, if that makes sense. And it does look like an image trace almost of a font. So you can find a similar font, I'm sure, online if you just search for like stencil font. Or if you know what the font is called, you can search for it, find a free website, and download it and install it on your computer and use that so that you get more of a consistent, professional-looking font that doesn't look traced. Because there's just some inconsistencies in it that I can see. But other than that, I think, it's looking really good. I like the placement of the banana. I like the text itself. The font is good. It just needs to be downloaded and installed and then retyped, and then you need to outline the fonts by right-clicking and choosing Create Outlines. Looks like you have the right size artboard, but you can also check that. 3x3, yep. Okay, so everything looks good. Hopefully this is helpful. Okay, talk to you later.